absolutely delighted to be launching our partnership with Manhattan Motor Cars, which is our first representation on the east coast of the USA. Alongside me I have Briggs, the co-founder and director of product development for BAC, and of course the great Brian Miller from Manhattan Motor Cars. Without further ado, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce for the very first time in New York the world's only single-seater road-legal supercar, the BAC Bono. We've had a lot of questions this week, asking all about the beautiful piece of machinery beside me, and tell you about it in more detail, plus the fascinating story of BAC. I hand you over to Briggs.
Yeah, thanks, and good morning everybody. And firstly, let me just say I'm absolutely delighted to be here. I know it sounds like it, sadly I'm suffering from a cold, but yeah, good morning and thanks for coming. First time I came to New York was 20 years ago, and as a young engineer, with dreams of doing what we're doing here today. And, went to the Blue Man show on Lafayette, and never ever dreamed 20 years later we'd stood here in front of you guys and stood next to this man here. So it's quite an emotional moment for us, and thanks again for coming. So let me tell you a bit about the car. We started the process of the concept for this car actually nearly 20 years ago, when there was a movement towards cars that are being produced and designed for one purpose and one purpose only. And we've taken that concept even further. So this car is not about A to B, it's about A to A, it's about pure driving pleasure, and that's its sole purpose, its sole life. And so to that extent, it was very important that the car had a new identity, because it represents a new way forward in car design as far as we're concerned. And I think it's a movement that has been adopted by some of the other manufacturers. So firstly, when you look at the aesthetic of the car, you'll notice that the car uses a form language that we refer to as negative space. So the car is not a conventional three-box volume. It creates its shape through surfaces, and therefore this gives the car a feel of athleticism, of tautness. And it was very important as a new product. It had a new identity. It didn't look like a race car. It didn't look like a sports prototype, but it actually was a new identity. And that's why the car looks the way that it does. And that's all down to my brother Ian and his design team. He's the co-founder of the business. And my job as an engineer is to make the car drive as well as it looks. And to that extent, this car, as a driving experience, it's unparalleled. And we're going to talk a little bit later about some of the stats on the car. But it's my job to make sure that the car drives as well as it looks, but also to make sure that the performance that the car has is very, very accessible for anyone in this building. Anyone can drive this car. And to that extent, we're in the business of entertainment. We're not in the car business. We're in the business of entertainment. We want to put smiles on people's faces, and it's so rewarding for me as an engineer to meet new people who share our passion for driving, and when they get out of the car to see the look on their face, which is usually a big, big smile, and then greeted with a big hug afterwards.
Tell us about the start of the business. So you and your brother had a vision of creating something that didn't exist in the market. Tell us the full process there.
Yeah, so Ian and I have had an automotive design business, consultancy business for 25 years, working with pretty much all the major manufacturers. So we had the skill set to design our own car, and for us it was, how would life look if we wrote the design brief? And that's why the car has this unique look, but it also has this unique layout. You'll notice the car has one seat, and the reason behind is unquestionably and undeniably, race cars have evolved over 60, 70 years, and you'll notice that the driver sits in the middle, that they have a stress-bearing longitudinal engine and a fully stress-bearing transmission and gearbox. All of the architecture of the car is done to optimise the weight distribution and maximise the performance. So there was never ever any discussion whether the car should have two seats, whether it should have one in line or a tandem or three seats. It was always a single seat. And in most car companies, designers and engineers usually have conflicts because engineers want things certain ways and designers want them another way. And I have to say, and it's not just because of the fantastic relationship I have with my brother, but it's also the engineering elements on this car are also part of the aesthetic. So in many ways, the car is very similar to a motorcycle in that sense. You'll see a lot of exposed mechanical components on the car, and as the further as you get back on the car, you'll see that more of those mechanical elements are exposed. So if you do get a chance, please come and see. you'll notice the gearbox, you'll see the exhaust, you'll see the rockers, the suspension, and there's a real beauty in the engineering. And really our vision was to create something that was an unparalleled driving experience, and we've done that.
Brian, you've worked with some of the biggest names and the biggest brands in the automotive industry. You only have to look around the stand today to know that. What was it about BAC and of course the Mono that really caught your eye?
Hello, hello. When I first
swap mics. There you go.
We can hear you.
Great, thanks. Anyway, when I first started getting into these type of cars, I was more of a conventional auto dealer. I got unique kind of cars for unique people, the people we deal with on a regular basis, and this car fit perfectly. I met the BAC guys. You gotta love these guys. They're really passionate about what they do. The car is amazing. I didn't get to see one in person until it rolled in here for the show, and it looks so much better than I even expected. So we have people who want unique products and different things. I think they share the same passion that Neil has tapped into with his team, and the car just fit well with us, and we're excited to be selling it now and to be involved with the BAC guys.
So everything about the Mono is tweaked with ultimate performance and driving perfection in mind. It's regarded as the ultimate piece of sporting equipment for the sport of driving. Neil, the statistics on this car are absolutely phenomenal. Tell us a bit more about that, and of course the scouts it's taken on the track around the world.
So the car is the fastest rear-wheel drive accelerating car in the world. It will get from 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds. It'll get to 100 in under 6 seconds, and top speed of 170 miles an hour. So they're fairly earth-shattering performance details. But I think that the bigger picture really is when you put all of that together, how accessible the performance is, the braking performance, the handling, the way the car steers, turns, the apex speeds that you can carry into corners, and so on. When you put all of that together, it delivers really a lap time that is unparalleled for any production car. In fact, the car holds 7 production car lap records at various international Formula 1 circuits around the world. And for us to be rubbing shoulders in this company is super flattering for us, but also to be able to demonstrate something that our business can deliver which other manufacturers can't, because we're a small agile business. We can develop based on the customer feedback that we get. Many of the options that you see on the car are a direct consequence of some of the feedback that we've had from customers. And for me as an engineer, the ultimate check as to whether I've done my job or not properly, and my team, is a lap time. Because basically you put all of those performance attributes together, aerodynamics, braking performance, and so on and so forth, and it delivers a lap time. And there's various tracks that we can talk about around the world, but to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds quicker than the best supercars in the world around some of the tracks, in motorsport terms, you know, you're chasing tenths of a second, and for us to be 3, 4, 5 seconds quicker than cars like McLaren P1s, Porsche 918s, all the hypercars that you can think of in the world, it really is extremely flattering for us, and it shows that we've done our job. And I think, you know, the idea of a supercar for us is that a supercar has to be super at something, and we've chosen the battle that we'd like to go into with the other manufacturers, and that's a lap time. So we're not chasing top speed, we're not chasing a certain amount of performance or anything else. For us, it's how does the car drive, because that's what this car is all about, it's what all our brand is about, and it's about, as Stuart said, the sport of driving. We consider driving to be a sport. Our customers are cash rich and time poor, and for them they want to maximise their pleasure when they do have the chance to drive their car on the road, because this car is road legal, or on the track. And it really is something to be experienced if you ever get that chance. And this map will help you achieve that experience as well.
Obviously, being in New York is a huge step for us, and we're very, very proud and happy to be here. And first of all, Brian, what are you expecting from the market now you have Mono in the dealership?
Well, I think it brings us some different buyers. Mono is priced really well for what it gives you, and I think there's a lot of value in the car for that. So I'm expecting to meet some new people who want to just have, like Neil said, just get in the car and run around and go fast and have fun with the car. There's still a lot of people who do want to do that, believe it or not. And this car, like I said, I mean, I can't wait to drive it. Just afraid about getting out of it somehow, but so that's it.
And Neil, I think it's safe to say this is the start of big things for us over in the USA. Beyond this week, what are our plans?
So the US is our #1 market. We're absolutely committed to the US, and I just want to take this opportunity to thank Brian and his team for their vision in believing in us and allowing us to live our dream and allowing us to try and deliver dreams for his customers. Business is all about people, and for us, these guys are great fun people to be with. They're very professional, of course. We don't take ourselves too seriously, but when the discussion over price and availability, then we're very serious. I'd like to thank Brian and his team for believing in us and putting on such a great show. And for those of you who are fortunate to come tonight, and I've heard it's legendary the evening at the booth. As far as the US is concerned, as I said, we're absolutely committed to the US market, and I think with Brian we've got the East Coast absolutely wrapped up. You can expect to see one or two other announcements in the next 3 months with regards to one or two other people popping up over the US. It's a big place, as we're beginning to understand. But we don't need any invite to come over here. It's a fantastic place, an amazing city, an amazing country, and we started off this company to meet interesting new people who share our passion and our dream, and every day we do that. We meet new people. So that's what you can expect in the next few months.
We're often asked what kind of person would buy the Mono, and to tell you more about that, I'll hand you back to me.
So the person who buys the car has a multitude of cars. They don't buy the car instead of any other car, they buy it in addition to. So the usual questions are, what are your competitors, and so on and so forth. And actually the car is probably, other competitors I would say would be certainly in the luxury lifestyle business, would be expensive watches or racehorses or anything that you care to spend your money on. There's no reason why it's a discretionary purchase. You can justify this car, but you want the car because it's such an incredible and lovely thing. And so to that extent, our customers are very focused on their free time. They're very focused on their driving. They all share a passion for a beautifully engineered product. They'll have multiple cars in the garage, many of which are on the stand here. We share many similar customers with the various different brands here. And they buy this car for one reason and one reason only, and that's because it gives them something different from all of their other vehicles. Sitting in the middle, being exposed, living the dream, dreaming of who they might have been if they'd have started motorsport maybe earlier. But enjoying the car on a nice canyon, on a nice mountain road, and even driving through the city. They look to be part of that process and being at one with the machine, and that effectively is the kind of person who buys the car. And as we're discovering, there's quite a few of them around the world, and the more people who get to know about the car, the more people who are attracted to the brand, and that's super flattering for us. And it's nice to know that there's many people out there who share our dream.
Guys, thank you all so much for coming. If you'd like some one-on-one time with Neil, come and speak to me afterwards. Neil will also be appearing in the Hypercar CEO Summit with Koenigsegg and Rimac. That's at 11:40 right here. And thank you very much for coming. The price starts from $235,000 in the US.
What power is it, and how heavy is it?
It's 580 kilograms, which is roughly 1,200 pounds, which all equates to a power to weight ratio of 525 brake horsepower per ton, which is a lot.
And what power is it?